welcome back to my channel, Belicious Budgeting. My name is Anna. Today I'm going to share with you all a Q&A that I asked over on Instagram. So there was actually a lot of questions, so I think I'm going to do a part 2 so that way this video isn't like 20-30 minutes long, and I will answer as many questions as I can as possible. If you're not following me on Instagram already, please follow me at Belicious Budgeting. I frequently do polls over there on what type of content you want to see, also some Q&As on what questions you want me to answer. And I do apologize about the lighting, it's a little overcasted here in California. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I focus on content such as beauty, lifestyle, and how to save money. So if you're interested, please hit the subscribe button down below. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to turn on notifications. I upload every Wednesday, Saturday, and let's just go ahead and get started. First question I got was super sweet. So the first question was, how are you? I'm doing okay. I'm a little stressed and overwhelmed, to be honest. So I'll be sharing a little bit more in an upcoming video, but just a lot of life changes going on. Also, my dog Marshmallow, he's been losing a lot of weight. We're actually going to the vet today to see what's going on. So I've just been really concerned about him. I feel like I follow all the doctors' recommendations and medication dosages, and I feel like it's almost getting worse. So I've been really concerned about that and trying to get him a healthy diet to gain weight. Also, my husband did accept a new job, so that did throw in a wrench with our traveling plans for this year. And then we've been going to the gym about 4 times a week for an hour straight, and then sometimes I'll do at-home workouts in addition just to keep it up. And we've been following a meal plan, which has honestly been so time consuming. I am seeing results though. I already dropped a pant size, which is awesome, but it's just a lot of weighing out, measuring things, and oh my goodness, the dishes. I have to do dishes so many times since I constantly have to use the measuring cups, the measuring spoons, so that's been a lot, but it is worth it. And I feel like I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself with YouTube. I have been growing, which is awesome, but I literally scrapped 3 videos this week because I was just not a fan of the quality or the angles. I just put so much of an expectation on it because the more that I grow, the better quality the videos need to be. I can't just be oh, you know what, whatever, just to get a video out there. No, I need to have quality to it. But that's how I'm doing. We're just pushing forward and going with the flow. Second question is, are you traveling to Hawaii soon? So no, we did go about 2 Septembers ago to Honolulu. Honestly, I do wish we went to Maui instead because Honolulu is very city life, high-end shopping, and I want more of a tropical beachy feel. We still had a blast though. Honestly, the best time out there was just being in the ocean for 4 hours. Was just so simple and fun to do. But no, we don't have any plans to return back to Hawaii anytime soon. Ernie and I like to try new destinations before returning back to one. I do want to go back to New York though, because even though we were out there for a week, it was just such a vibe. Question number 3 is, what's the best cologne for men? Honestly, perfume and cologne's gonna wear differently from person to person. For instance, I love Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue and J'adore, but I could literally spray 5 to 10 spritz on me, and it's I didn't even spray anything, it just won't last on me. But on my mom, Light Blue wears amazing on her. But just to name a few colognes, honestly, there is one universal cologne, I should say. I don't even know if it's really a cologne, but Rue 21 Black, I swear that smells amazing on any man. I always buy for Ernie, for my family. It's just so strong and fragrant. I don't know what it is. I don't know how they do it for the price. So Rue 21 Black, I would highly recommend checking out. Also, they have Rue 21 White Chrome, I think, and then Rue 21 Red. They all smell really good. Also, if you layer the white and the red together, that's really good. And like I said, it's 10 or 12 bucks. I get all 3 of them for under $40. Another good one that I really like, but super expensive, is YSL. That one smells really good. All YSL colognes are very strongly fragrant. And then there's one called Stronger With You, I want to say. I don't know if they make it still, but that one's super strong as well. And then I like the Clinique Happy for men, and then they have a Tiffany for him. That smells really good. Honestly, there's a lot of great smelling colognes out there, but really it depends on how it works on you the best. So I would say go to Sephora. You can ask for up to 2 cologne samples. You can go to Nordstrom Rack. Sometimes they'll make it for you, or you can make your own cologne samples and do what works best for you. Also, if you do see a cologne sampler set, I would pick one up. Ernie has one right now, and I would like the 11 or 14 in there. There's 2 that smell really good on him. So that just comes to show you not all colognes work the same on people. 2 out of 11 is pretty low. but you get to find out like what scent is gonna linger the best on you. Also, I don't know if they still have it at Sephora, but in the past you can get like deluxe samples for like $65, $70, and then it comes with like a little like voucher to redeem for a full-size bottle. So I would recommend that, or just trying out some samples, or hey, just like spraying some while you're in store. Question number 4, favorite makeup item. You can only choose one. That is super hard. I love my eyeshadows, but without any mascara, eyeliner, I feel like it'll look incomplete. So I'll probably say eyeliner. That way I look a little bit put together. That one was a hard one, but I'm gonna go with eyeliner. Question number 5 were thoughts on buying versus renting a home. I thought this one was super interesting. It definitely had me thinking. I think there's pros and cons either way. We are currently renting a house. We do want to buy a house in like less than 5 years. But houses are super expensive. So some pros with renting a house: if something breaks, you can just call your landlord. That's on them to make the calls, to pay for the cost. That's definitely a plus. Also, when you rent a home, usually the appliances are included, like your refrigerator, washer, dryer, dishwasher, or maybe there's a laundry unit. If for some reason you don't like your neighborhood or your neighbors, or maybe you just need to move, I feel like it's a little easier to move elsewhere. I mean, you don't want to break your lease, but versus buying a home, you know, you have to like sell your house, someone has to buy it, then you have to find a house, or renting is just like a little bit more flexible and easier for that matter. Some cons with renting a home is like rent can increase without much notice. I know here in California, it's only by a certain percentage they increase it, but still, it's unfortunate. Or the apartments that we rent before, they would have like a flat rate of utilities no matter like how much or how little you use. So that part kind of sucks, even if you don't like use too much. And they could have their own policies. Like for instance, they could allow like no pets, or if they do allow pets, usually they have like a pet deposit and pet rent. So that can all definitely add up. If the landlord needs the house back, or I've heard cases where like people want to move like their kids in, so they like tell you need to move out. So that could be a little bit annoying and stressful. And with renting a home, you can't like paint the walls. I mean, technically you could, but you can't like do like any upgrades or anything like that. Some pros with buying a home is you can make upgrades. You can like add on to it if like the permit allows you to. I don't know like too much about that, but I know you need some clearance there. Also, you can like pass it down like to your children and grandchildren, etc. You can decide whether or not you want pets in your home, and you don't have like any additional like pet rent, anything like that. The rent is more steady, and no matter what, it's not going to go up due to inflation. Some cons though, if you end up not liking the neighborhood or the neighbors that move in there and you want to move out, it's definitely going to be a longer process to do so. Having to sell your house and then agree on the price, and then finding a house to move into, that could definitely be stressful. If something does break, that's on you to make the calls, get the estimates, and take care of. Also, the majority of homes, people take their appliances with them, so that could be another factor to consider. Some people leave some appliances behind, but most of the time you're gonna have to purchase your own. And then some cons, it's a lot of money up front, so it's definitely something to consider. And it's something I learned kind of recently. So if a house says it's like $600,000, let's say, you're more than likely gonna pay like $20,000 more or so. I didn't know it was like a bidding process. So that part really does suck. You have to count the down payment, you have to pay like over asking price, and then there's closing costs, and then you need like home insurance, and you have to pay all the utilities. So that's definitely a lot of money up front. So I think both have their pros and cons, but honestly, you just have to do what's best for your lifestyle and your budget. Question number 6 is how to decide on a travel budget. So Ernie and I have a list of places that we want to go to. And then usually like once the new year starts, we'll kind of talk about like, okay, what do we want to do this year? What month? Something we've been doing like the past like 2-3 years is we always have a trip for our anniversary. That's just something we like to do for ourselves. Usually we like to plan vacations on 3-day weekends so we don't have to take from our vacation time. So once we have our list of trips that we want to do for like the year, or it'd be nice to do, I'll do some research and check like that locations like non-peak months and like our schedule, see how that works out. It's always cheapest to look on a Tuesday. And also if you have looked at that location in the past, you want to delete your cookies. I also should do like a whole separate video on this, but anywho, I check on a Tuesday on Costco and I'll clear my cookies and just get a rough idea of how much it is and see if it's within our budget. Most of the time though, we try not to pay more than like $2,500 per person. Usually for traveling like out of country or something like that, you know, it's a little more understandable. But with Costco, that usually includes your trip, like round trip, the hotel. You usually get like a Costco card or some type of perks or like some voucher credits, free breakfast. So it's definitely worth the cost. So we just kind of have that in mind. Like, I don't think we've ever paid like $4,000 a person, anything like that. So usually we say about like $2,500 or so. Usually what Ernie and I do, we'll use like our tax refunds, our credit card rewards, our credit card points. We get points from Costco, so when we get that rewards check, that goes strictly for traveling. Also, we do recycle cans and bottles, so that goes like into like a little travel jar that we have. So that way it's just like less out of pocket for us. So that's how we travel on a budget. We'll go during non-peak months. If you leave on a Saturday, it's a little bit cheaper. There's a lot of factors involved, but usually we say about $2,500 because with all like our points and, you know, recycling cans and stuff, we don't spend that much out of pocket. So that's usually our thing. Question number 7, dream trip. Honestly, this was a hard one. I had a lot of time to think about it. I couldn't really answer it. I do want to go back to Italy to check out the Amalfi Coast. I want to spend more time in Tuscany. Ernie and I went to Italy for our honeymoon, and we did a day trip in Tuscany and Milan. And I really love Tuscany. I definitely want to spend more time out there. So I'd probably say returning back to Italy would be cool. I do want to check out Greece, but more so for the views than anything. But oh my gosh, that trip is so expensive. It's like $6,000, I think. So I need to try to find out how to do that on a budget. Some people say like fly to Italy first, and then the flight from there to Greece is like a couple $100s, or someone said 30. I was like, I don't know if I believe that. So I definitely need to like find a way to make that like more budget friendly. But I'd probably say somewhere in Europe and just taking in the views, having a nice resort. If I really had to narrow it down, I'd probably say spending time in Tuscany, doing some wine tasting, taking some good photos. That just honestly sounds like a dream, eating pasta. Ooh, question number 8 is so juicy. Thoughts on prenups. So again, my mentality over here is if you're not harming anyone or doing like anything malicious, do what works best for you. Someone else getting a prenup is not going to affect my lifestyle. It's only going to affect those 2 people involved. So this is kind of like a juicy subject. I know some families have like generational wealth, so might affect that. I don't know. Try not to get too involved, but I think if you worked for something like on your own before you got married or involved with that person, you have the right to protect it. And if that makes you feel more comfortable, then, you know, that's something those 2 people need to agree on and work through. But Ernie and I don't have a prenup. I didn't have anything at like 22 years old. I can understand there's something you worked hard for, and in the event a divorce were to happen, you don't want someone having half of that. So again, just depends on what works best for those 2 individuals. Question number 9 is next travel destination. So when I answer question number 1, how are you? We've been like scrambling over here. So Ernie just accepted a new job, which did throw a wrench into our travel plans. But I was just like looking at the calendar. I was like, you know what? I think we can squeeze in a trip, but literally the morning after, Ernie would have to go to his first day of work. We're actually going to an event out of town the day that we leave and just gonna catch a flight out there. So I'll be talking about that in an upcoming video, so stay tuned. Number 10, are you more into audiobooks, music, or podcasts? So I thought this was a pretty good question. I haven't tried any audiobooks. I used to love to read when I was younger, like a good old hard copy book, but now not so much. Maybe I should though, that'd probably be good. However, I love listening to music. I honestly just love having audio in the background. I do work from home, so if it's too quiet, I really don't like it. I love listening to podcasts. I literally have a podcast lined up for every single day of the week. When I get ready for work, when I'm cooking dinner, if I'm cleaning the house. I just feel like it makes the tasks I'm doing less boring because I'm also doing something for myself. I'm listening to people that I enjoy listening to. When I work out, it just makes the workout go by so much faster. I'm not just like sitting there like waiting to do my next rep. I'm like constantly like stimulating myself. So I love podcasts so much. I love music. I'll play music in the car on the way to work or a podcast. So yeah, in short, I love listening to music and podcasts. And that is it for today's video. I have about 8 more to answer in part 2, so stay tuned. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button down below. Also, let's give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to add me on Instagram so you can participate in the next Q&A, and I'll see you all in my upcoming videos. Bye, everyone.